Hello audio fans, my name is Gavin and I am the audiophile wannabe. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. So some questions for you to start out with today. Are you by chance thinking about investing in a new system? Or are you thinking about investing in a new component? Well, but before you do, is there any way that I could talk you into holding off for just a little while until you go through a series of videos with me? I did say series, going to be about 4 or 5 videos. It'll take me a couple of, maybe 3 weeks, hopefully 2 to 2.5 weeks to get through these. But these are a series of videos that are aimed at helping the listener to understand exactly how good their system can be. I want to help you to maximize your system's current potential. And I hate to say it, but if you go through these videos with me, that some of you will definitely wind up not even having to spend any money at all because you'll be happy with the current system that you have. That's right, some of you are going to find out that your system is actually much better than you think, and others you'll find that maybe you won't have to spend as much money as you originally thought. But then for some of us, we're just going to go ahead and spend some money anyway on some new components because that's what we like doing, and that's totally fine as well. In this series of videos, I'm not saying that it's the best way or the right way, but I will say that I believe it's an effective way to understand how to maximize your system. Now, to be fair, this series is not going to be for every listener, every type of listener. If you're looking to put a system in your backyard or around the pool, this isn't going to be for you. Or if you're looking to do a home theater system build, this would not be for you. This is for the listener that is really interested into doing, I guess what we refer to as critical listening, but you just enjoy sitting in one spot and listening to music for however long, just getting lost in the music, enjoying your choice beverage or whatever, but you're having a good time listening to music. This is going to be for you. And these series of videos come out of my own personal experience over the past few years as I have worked to try to understand the various aspects of what it means to maximize my own stereo system. So I thought it would be good to put together a series of videos that would help you guys be able to glean from my experiences, and hopefully this will be able to apply and provide you some benefit. And we'll just call this series my HiFi Systems Diagnostic Method. So what does this diagnostic method look like? Well, there are 5 steps or 5 stages, and we will go through those. And the first one is Soundstage. Yes, Soundstage. We hear a lot about that, and that's going to be the primary topic on today's video. The second step, or the second stage in this project, is room treatments or acoustic treatments, which is, if you think about it, the next logical progression after establishing a good soundstage. And step number 3 is what I refer to as vibration detox. Yes, vibration detoxification. We will look at trying to help you minimize or eliminate, where possible throughout your system, vibrations that can lead to unwanted distortion, muddiness, and resonance, possibly even in your speakers. But we'll look at that as point number 3. Point number 4 we will refer to as signal path detox. Signal path detoxification. It is amazing, at least in my experience, but it is amazing how all little kinds of things throughout the signal path of your entire system, from the time the power cord comes out of the wall to the time the music gets all the way to the components in your speakers, there's all kinds of things that can contribute to masking your system's true potential, and we want to help you think of some ways or present you some ways that can help unleash your current system's true potential just in the area of the signal path. That will be point number 4. And the last point, which really doesn't need much from me, but at that point, once you've gone through all these various steps or stages, at that point you will be in a much better position to understand if you do need to buy a component, which type it should be and why, or if you feel like you need to upgrade your entire system, you should feel much better about it at that point. Since I don't really need to do a video for that 5th point, I am going to do a 5th video anyway, which will actually be, at that point, I will have installed Danny Ritchie's crossovers in my Forte 1s, And so you'll be able to get a feel of what I've done throughout the past couple of years to get to where I am. And this may sound strange, but one of the things that got me into this level of investigation for maximizing my own system's true potential, I honestly just want to understand how good those crossovers are. I know that they're good, but at the point that I install them and begin listening, I want to be able to maximize the most potential that I can to really hear the difference that I know those crossovers are going to bring. So I will make a video again that will cover my journey throughout the past couple of years getting my system to where it is, and I will use that to give an example of how this process has worked for me. So without further ado, let's get into point number one. What is Soundstage all about? Well, let me start by saying this. Are you aware that there is actually a relationship between the listener's sitting position and the position of the speakers in the room, that to where once you find this magical location in a room, that when you're sitting in that spot, all of a sudden it opens up the sound in the entire forefront of the room in a way that sounds very much like surround sound, but it's not. And this is a much different experience than just listening to a basic stereo setup with the speakers placed up against the wall. And that was point number one for why you want to go with the Soundstage, because it is the open door to a magical musical listening experience that you can't have otherwise. And point number two, in my opinion, the Soundstage is the foundation for all the potential sound that is available to be heard potentially from a given recording in a 2-channel listening scenario. So when I say true potential for all sound, what I mean is when you find that sweet spot, that magical listening zone in your room where you've got the right location for your speakers, you've got your listening position set, and the music opens up in the whole forefront of the room, you will experience sounds, possibly. I know that I've experienced this on many songs that I was already familiar with, but you will likely experience things in music that you've never heard before, in songs that you're familiar with. And interestingly, things can open up anywhere in the space in the forefront of that room. And without a Soundstage, you're not going to have that. Yes, with a basic listening setup, if you've got your speakers against the wall, you can certainly discern sounds coming from the left, the right, things like that, the wall of sound coming at you. But as far as getting a clear, distinct imaging, separation of instruments, where some sounds, some instruments sound closer over here yet further back over there, with a person standing right there in front of you in the very middle of the room, it sounds like, let's just say Alison Krauss, for example. It's like she is standing right there front and center on a lot of her music when I'm listening to it, and the speakers are over here, but she's standing right there. Again, you can only get that with a Soundstage. So just thinking of another way to try to contrast the difference between Soundstage and typical stereo left and right listening, going back to Alison Krauss, for example, her music. Let's say that you go to an Alison Krauss concert, and let's just think about or any concert really, but what does the typical concert sound setup sound like? So typically you've got big walls of speakers on the left and right side. Sometimes you have speakers going across the top, but most of the time you've got just a big wall of sound left and right coming at you. So you definitely hear it and feel it. It can be loud. You can feel that sound coming at you, but that's all that you're getting is a powerful, strong sound, just a wall of sound coming right at you. Now you have the benefit of being there at the concert and you can see them live, and that's a great experience. But as far as the sound, it's very two-dimensional and just very flat, but you can feel it coming at you just left and right, and that's all you're getting. Now let's contrast that to, let's say Alison Krauss and Union Station came into your own home, and they're in your listening space, and let's just say that they set up in this room right back over there, as opposed to listening to them at a concert. So instead of just a big flat loud wall of sound coming in, I could sit here, they would be throughout the room, and there would be a clear distinction of Alison standing right there playing her fiddle, singing right there in the middle of the room, and I could clearly, easily discern if somebody's playing a acoustic guitar over here to the left, how close they might be, or if the guy playing the dobro is further back over in the corner. That sense of depth perception and where they are. You know, the first concert I ever went to was the Rush Hold Your Fire concert at the Jackson, Mississippi Coliseum back in '87. It was unbelievable. And, you know, being 16 or 17 years old at the time, from that point forward, with my audio listening experience at home, what I was really trying to do was recreate that concert sensation, just of being at that concert. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. I very much still enjoy that type of listening experience. But once I established a soundstage, some of the songs, especially like Natural Science, with the way the water kind of cascades across the room at the beginning of the song, with that and the acoustic guitars, and then once the drums kick in, it is a much different experience, as though I was right there in the studio with those guys when they were recording. So a difference there being concert sound compared to what I call realism. Again, Alison Krauss right here in the room. Well, I say that she's not here in the room. If they were here playing, that's what I described a while ago, having a greater sense of realism versus that concert style feel. I hope that makes sense. So basically, point number 3 I just covered in that last explanation, which is realism. So the soundstage can help bring out a sense of realism that you really can't get any other way. Okay, and the last reason, point number 4, for why I believe that the soundstage is the first area that you want to start investigating to understand how truly good your system really is because once you've opened up that magical place in your room where you can hear all that music, if you're a tinkerer and you do like to upgrade and make changes to your system, you will be able to maximize the benefit that each change has to make and get more out of your change points than you would otherwise. I'll give you an example. Cables. Yes, cables. That this subject is still the debate that it is, to me, is all the evidence that I need to really see that either someone who is doing some A to B comparisons of different high-end cables to lower-end cables, if they're telling you that they're not hearing much benefit, if they say that there's little to no benefit, either they have not unlocked the full potential, or they have not unlocked that soundstage, or there's something else going on in their sound. Maybe the music that they're listening to is just recorded in such a way that they've got some kind of basically flat, like 80s concert kind of a sound going on, and they're not going to hear a whole lot in that regard. I can't really think of why they wouldn't, because once I opened up the soundstage in my room and began trying cables, speaker cables, interconnect cables, power cables, each one of those brought to the table a benefit that I did not expect, could not imagine, and that kind of experience is greatly increased by having a soundstage. And once you make a change like cables, wherever that cable can make a benefit within that entire geography of space in your room is going to be much more than within the context of the geography and the space in the room that's allowable with just a standard left and right system with the speakers pushed up against the wall. I hope that makes sense. I will say there is a caveat to this. Maybe I covered this a second ago, I can't remember. The caveat being the way music is recorded. So not all music is recorded the same, and not all music, how it's recorded and mixed in the studios, is going to provide the imaging, the depth perception, the clarity, well, maybe clarity, but that three-dimensional holographic portrayal that is available in a soundstage is not actually heard with all recordings. So that's something to consider as well when testing a soundstage, is the type of music that you're listening to. Okay, now a very important point for you is how do we create a soundstage, right? Okay, so for that, I'm going to forward, once I've sent this, I think, in a few other videos, briefly talking about soundstage, but I will forward or paste into the comments section below on this video a video by Ron Bernay. He does New Record Day, that's his channel. He has a video called LOTS, Loudspeaker Optimization Techniques for Soundstage. I believe that's what that stands for. His explanation is the best that I've seen. That's the one I followed to actually understand and experience what a soundstage is. So I'm going to let you go to his website for that. But I want to throw that out there. Okay, so that's kind of it for now, talking about why it is important to begin with understanding and finding a soundstage for your system. Again, just recapping the points that we went over, because point number one is that there is a relationship between the listener, the listening position, and the position of your speakers in a room that has a sweet spot to it in the listening space. You can sit in this sweet spot and it opens up the room in a way that you've never thought possible when it comes to music listening. And then point number two, in my opinion, consequently, the soundstage is the foundation for unlocking all the potential sound that is possible to be heard from a given recording in a 2-channel listening scenario. Which leads to point number three for why we want to go with the soundstage to start off with. And investigating our systems diagnostics is because it provides a sense of realism to listening to your music that you could not get otherwise. And last but not least, the fourth reason why, in my book, soundstage is the route to go to start this investigation is because it allows for the maximum potential benefit from any change that you make in your system to be realized. So those are the four reasons why I feel like soundstage is the place to start when evaluating the current state of your system's performance. I hope all this made sense today. Please let me know in the comments below what you think. Hopefully the content will prove very beneficial to you. And again, keep in mind that if you go through this process with me in these videos, it is likely that some of you will not have to buy or upgrade any components or invest in a new system once you find out and unlock the true potential that your current system has. So if you have enjoyed today's content, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel, as that will help the channel grow. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next video, which is, what did I say earlier? It is acoustic room treatments, which is the next logical step after establishing a soundstage. So we'll see you on the next video. Take care.